Yes, I know the FBI is in control of the investigation. The state is doing their own investigation.
Right.
The DA came out and said today, there's no pardon power on state charges. But this DA and Keith Ellison, they got a very hard task in front of them. The same DA did not indict an officer a couple of years back over a no-knock warrant. Remember the brother that was sitting in there?
Right, he was on his couch.
He thought somebody was on his couch. This the same DA that did not indict him. Now, you don't have to use murder. It can be aggravated assault, manslaughter, or whatever. I keep telling people, if you learn from the civil rights generation, they actually had plans to protest. These people are starting to get plans because you can hear them every time ICE come around, they have the whistles out. Now, this traffic, blocking this traffic stuff, just my opinion on it, Gerard, that police officer, he positioned himself so he can say, I feared for my life and I shot. And that right there, when a police officer say that, I feared for my life, every judge and jury is going to take that man's word.
And you get that immunity.
Yes. And do I think it's going to be any justice for that woman? I really don't know. I know it's going to just be a bunch of people talking, doing a bunch of protests and stuff. But you better learn that some of these police officers have only been through 13 weeks of training, and they put them out there on something that they've never in their life dealt with. So you got to take that into consideration. I don't know anything. They announced the guy's name today, but I don't know anything else about him. But some of these, I know he was in an accident before he got drugged by a car.
Right.
So he might have been just a little trigger happy. But I don't think that she had, in my opinion only, I don't think she had any intention to run him over. But if you look at that video and you've been to court, you've seen how they do murder scenes, and they will freeze frame, go second by second to show you every little inch of what could have happened or what did happen. And you got to get in the law enforcement world, they get the benefit of the doubt on that. But we had a case in Texas, similar but not similar. A police officer thought a car was going to run him over. This was kids coming from a party. He fired shots, killed a 15-year-old boy. He got 17 years in prison for that. But that was a state charge, totally different than protesting and all this other stuff. But it is ways that you can do it, but the DA has to get up on his or her game. It ain't going to be easy because anything federal, it's going to be pardon or no charges at all. With Cash Patel doing an investigation, his eyes cocked like a pistol.
Right.
He can't see anything. But you brought up something else, man, about them oil tankers. That ship was not originally a Russian ship.
No, just flying the flag. Just flying the flag.
Yeah. Yes, and that's when Russia sent the submarine and another ship out there. But I keep telling people that ship has a crew. So when you take over that ship, you take that crew. Now, Russia is demanding that crew back. As of now, the United States has not given that crew back. That's something to keep your eye on. Because, these folks, man, what they call it, a rich man war, poor man fight, that's basically what we setting ourselves up for. You just cannot be bully everybody. He said, what was it, to the New York Times, that we're going to be there for a long time. And he's not ruling out putting folks on the ground.
Right.
So it might, listen, somebody's grandkids might be over there fighting in 25, 30 years over some oil. And you know how much money we're going to save if we take over Venezuela oil and their infrastructure to replace it?
None.
10 cents on the pump. All that for 10 cents. But it's million and billionaire oil buddies. How much money they going to earn? Millions and billions.
They're going to be selling it.
Yes. They're the ones that's going to make the money, not me and you.
They're buying it wholesale.
Nothing.
They're going to buy it wholesale and refine it and sell it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, hey, man, why you sit there and talk about Adam Zola today?
Talk about what now?
Oh, Adam Zola.
Oh, yeah. That's the guy that did. Wait a minute, that's the guy that's the cop.
Yeah, well, people
stalking. He's stalking.
Well, you tell Adam this. You should have been a Catholic priest.
Oh,
they didn't let you do it.
You see, I ain't talking to you no more. I ain't talking to you no more. I ain't talking no more. Goodbye. Yes, indeed. All right, folks. Tell you what we got to do. We got to take a break. We will take another break and have another conversation with you. Again, I'm telling everybody what you think. I want to hear what you think. I think that we can watch the news and we can sit down and we can have a conversation about this and listen to other people. But is this scaring you? Is this making you think about your position in the community? Does this also make you think about voting differently? Trump's numbers, as far as people that like who he is, they're changing their mind. I think, now this is just my personal opinion, we messing with a whole bunch of nations, countries. We got at least 5 or 6 that we messing with. Them folks are going to get together, form some type of coalition, and we're going to be in trouble. That's just my thoughts. Because to hear them talk about, they didn't like the fact. I was like, who is they? Russia didn't like the fact that we took over one of those oil tanker ships. So they sent an intercept, and that was a Russian submarine. I'm like, wait a minute, were we getting ready to go to World War III? But they couldn't do anything because by the time they got there, we had already left. So, more coming up, y'all. We gotta take a break. Going next.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. The Magnificent Seven, led by NVIDIA, have been dominating conversations on Wall Street for a while now. But Black-owned and led Ariel Investments is finding value flying under the radar with smaller companies. Here's Ariel Investments founder, chairman, and CEO, John Rogers.
We're still finding ideas in the small value space. You know, they really have been ignored. They're kind of the ugly ducklings when you compare it to NVIDIA and Apple and all these giant, exciting growth stories. You know, the little mundane businesses that we've invested in for 42 years just seem particularly orphaned these days. So we're seeing great ideas and excited to be doing the research. I think there's real opportunity for small value.
Ariel Investments, John Rogers speaking to Bloomberg there. The firm's flagship Ariel Fund focuses entirely on small and mid-cap stocks. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Let me be perfectly clear. The now deposed president of Venezuela is a brutal thug, but the recent actions of President Trump regarding Venezuela are not policy differences. They are something far more serious and dangerous, an open challenge to the basic principles of international law and national sovereignty. My friend Lieutenant General Russell Honoré said it bluntly, and he is right. Quote, "The notion that a foreign government can claim ownership of another country's resources is a violation of international law and sovereignty. Venezuela is a sovereign nation with the right to control its own resources and determine its own government. The idea that the United States can unilaterally decide to run the Venezuelan government is not only imperialistic, but a blatant disregard for the will of the Venezuelan people. That's not radical. That is Civics 101 on the world stage. But that apparently is of no concern to a President Trump who appears intoxicated by delusions of expansionism as he sets about attempting to coerce the entire Western Hemisphere via gunboat diplomacy. No nation, not ours, not any, has the moral or legal right to seize another country's resources or dictate its leadership because it finds the outcome convenient and financially profitable. That is the language of empire, not democracy. And make no mistake, you can condemn corruption in Venezuela. You can mourn the suffering of its people and still reject the idea that the United States gets to take control of another sovereign nation. Those two ideas are not in conflict. They are at the very heart of international law. History has taught us this lesson again and again. When we try to run other people's countries, we do not bring freedom. We bring resentment, chaos, instability, and endless consequences for too many years. Note, Afghanistan was not a generation, neither was Vietnam. Sovereignty is not for sale. It is not leased. It is not transferred to the highest bidder or the strongest military. It belongs to the people of that nation and only them. Respect for that principle is not weakness. It is the foundation of global order. That world order that is now under threat from the Trump administration. This is Norman Robinson off the top.
New Orleans, are you ready for a voice that says what you're thinking? Who that, you might ask? Arrington Gavin. That's right, I'm your guy, host of the Arrington Gavin Show, giving you so much filled with bold opinions, real conversations, and zero sugarcoating. We're going to be diving into the issues that matter, politics, pop culture, and all the above, unfiltered and unafraid. Catch the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Fridays, right here on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
LifeCare provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. I was talking to one of my friends. I could say I was talking to General Honore, and I said, General, have you ever seen it this bad? You know, I'm thinking that he's going to say, oh, yeah, man, you know, as much as I've gone through being in the Army and going to all these different world wars and all this other stuff. General Honorary said, nope, I've never seen it this bad as far as not being in a war. And the people that are leading the way are trying to get you in one. So if you want to make a change, how do you make the change? That should be a good question for everybody. If you want to make a change, how do you get to make a change? The woman that was shot in her car in a residential neighborhood was south of downtown Minneapolis. Now I'm gonna make everybody go, all right now. Oh, I can't believe you said that. Here we go. Do you all see the difference? That's really all I need to say. What? Do you all see the difference? Oh, what you talking about, Gerard? What you talking about? I'm gonna keep asking that. I saved this part. Do you all see the difference? The difference between this 37-year-old white woman being shot, but yet we have somebody every morning when I wake up, somebody got shot in our neighborhoods. Y'all do understand that, right? Somebody was shot off of Dalman Road the other night. Somebody got shot. So I'm talking about the beginning of the year here. We ain't had enough people outside doing a whole bunch of nothing. So when you have somebody that was shot, well, we see the difference. Because our shootings are nonchalant. You would think, I put it to you this way. You would think that on the news, somebody tells you that a 4-year-old boy got shot. You would think that we'd all be ready to protest. We'd be out in the street. We'd be ready to lynch or hang somebody. A 4-year-old baby in our community didn't get shot by ICE, didn't get shot by the Ku Klux Klan. We did it. You would think that we would have that same mentality that we have now. I know that's a bad comparison. I already know that's a bad comparison. But being upset about somebody else coming into your community and we call them everything but a child of God that shot this lady, okay? But what about us? Can we have that same outrage, that same mobilization of let's go head on and protest about our kids? Wouldn't you think that's what we would be? Cedric.
Hey, Gerard, how you doing?
Good, man.
speaking of shooting, what I don't understand, they had the shooting at the Willows. The little boy, 4-year-old, did he die?
I'm not certain. I need to follow up on that.
I think I sort of heard. But my question is, why would they let this guy out on an ankle monitor? He rolls up and shoots into a crowd of people, man.
Good question.
Yeah, he got him out on an ankle monitor. And that ain't worth jack.
But Cedric, my question
Somebody
would be,
that was shooting to a crowd of people, man.
Okay, so my question would be to you, who did you ask? Did you ask anybody? Did you call Jason Williams' office and ask him? Because, he the DA. He the one that either prosecutes him. And did you call the judges at Chambers? Because the judges are the one to make the decision on whether they're going to be remanded or not. Did anybody?
Nope.
You understand why I'm asking that question then?
Yeah.
And it's not to criticize you, so please don't think that I am.
Yeah. But
I'm looking at it and saying,
you're right. You know what I'll do, though? I'll tell my daughter to do it for me because she's better with, doing this kind of stuff. I'm serious. I'm gonna get some kind of answer because she's got kids too.
I understand, but I want everybody to see the point that I'm making, and that is I'm looking at the difference. Everybody all upset nationwide. We protesting. We got people out of Minneapolis. We got them out here. We protesting. Yeah. But are we protesting because of the fact that it was ICE? Because the same thing happens in our neighborhood almost every day.
You're right. I was going to a meeting last night, and when I got to my turn right there by the library, I said, what is all the people doing? And, they had the police escorts and stuff. And then when I got home, I was looking at the signs, and I figured that's what it was. When I got home, I saw on the news, that was in Lafayette Square.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. But our kids, if that was our kids, would we be out there doing that? I doubt it.
We used to.
Yeah, we used to. What happened?
Everybody learned it from us.
Ain't that something? We teaching everybody else how to do it, and we're not doing it for ourselves. So, interesting. All right, Cedric.
Yeah. All right, Gerod. Our ancestors had plenty of courage, and we don't have much, brother.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Doctor.
Thank you, man.
All right. Michael. Michael?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Happy Thursday.
What's happening?
And
do I sound happy today? Do I sound happy today, Michael?
Yes, you.
I really do. Okay. Every time I talk to you from now on, I'm going to make sure that I sound happy for you.
Well, you kind of delayed in your talk. You're very methodical in what you're saying today, and I appreciate that. So your question is, what is the difference?
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference? Miss Renee Good, what a outstanding last name, was doing good. She was out there protecting her neighborhood and her community. She was putting herself between the Gestapo under Stephen Miller, Baby Goebbels, and she was protecting her community. Okay? That's the difference. She was protecting her community. And sorry I didn't hear the whole show. And the difference, you were saying someone on Dowman got shot. Okay? Mm-hmm. Was he protecting his neighborhood? Was he protecting his neighbors from, I don't know. I don't know the details. Usually you hear very vague information when you get a crime in New Orleans, especially New Orleans. It's very vague. They just give you a site, a corner or something like that. But to me, that's the difference. Okay? I wouldn't put so much emphasis that it was a white woman. Her name is Renee Good.
I didn't. I just asked the question, what's the difference?
The difference is that she was defending her neighbors. And whatever most of the silly crimes in New Orleans is not overprotecting your neighborhood. It might be protecting or revenge. I'm guessing. I'm not in a gang, Gerard. I used to be in a gang called State Fire High, but yeah, I was in college. But you get what I'm saying? To me, that's the difference. You know, now the difference between George Floyd and Ms. Good that happened in the same area. I think they said a few blocks away from where George Floyd was persecuted, crucified, and killed. You know, that's a difference in a long. That's racism. That was racism. Miss Good didn't get killed because of racism. She got killed because she was protecting her neighborhood from the Gestapo, from the Nazis. Can we agree that MAGA and Republicans are now Nazis? Can we get free on that?
Mm-hmm. But I just don't think that none of this did her any good, because look where she ended up, dead. That's the point
martyred.
that I'm making. I'm not making a racial point. I'm not making a point that's going to say, oh, this is good for some, but not good for all. I'm making the point of what happened after that. What's the difference in what happened after that? We're now seeing everybody
afterwards is that she was a hero. She's a hero to many. People are braving themselves in the freezing cold under the Gestapo conditions that they have in Minneapolis. And I've been to Minneapolis. I'm a big Prince fan. I've been to his house and did all that. I'd like to talk to you about that one day. Had a private viewing with Prince right before he died on his birthday. But beautiful thing. So
I've been to his place too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But the difference is that she died a hero. And the difference in the aftermath is that they're honoring her life. And when we have census killings, a lot of them in New Orleans, a lot of the census killings in New Orleans, it's retaliatory. It is tribal. I don't like to use that word. And it is because people lack education and they don't vote. And they have nothing to really live for.
So this is also a person that pulled the trigger and shot the lady, what, 3 times at least? And
he had
PTSD
don't know, but
because
he had
already been dragged by a car. So we don't know what
Doesn't
education
matter.
level he
Doesn't
had
matter.
or anything. So that to me is a mute point.
So, Gerard, what I hope that we can, as a community, learn from this and make it into one is that we value everyone's life.
I think that
right
value is everybody else's life, and I don't think that we're doing
right
that right
now.
now.
Under this regime that we have, these Nazis, they think less of us. They think less of me.
Exactly.
They think, and we're not even human. We're going back far back. We're terrorists, okay? We're left radicals indoctrinated by my Catholic education. So hey, it is what it is. Gerard, I love your show. Long-time listeners, sometimey. But looking forward to having coffee with you one day.
Well, all right, Michael. Thanks for the call, buddy.
Bye-bye.
All right, 504-582-9422. What's your point? Hey, what's your point? And what's your point? Get them in now. Maybe you want to comment. Get them in now before we get off the air. More coming up, y'all.
AURN News.
Today, the Trump administration is holding a closed all-senators briefing on Venezuela, days after the U.S. operation that ended with Nicolas Maduro in U.S. custody and in a Brooklyn detention center. Senators are expected to hear from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the Attorney General, CIA Director, and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. House members are slated for a separate closed-door briefing later. Now, the focus on Capitol Hill will be about who is in charge of Venezuela, what the U.S. role becomes, what limits Congress may try to set. Lawmakers say they were not fully informed until the operation was already underway. They're pressing for answers on costs and oversight and whether the mission expands. President Trump has also made statements in a Truth Social post that interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over between 30 and 50 million barrels of high-quality sanctioned oil. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com. Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
If someone asks, let them know you listen to WBOK. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, just a few more minutes here before we get off the air and call it a Thursday. I kept saying Wednesday, but call it a Thursday. So get them in at 504-582-9422. Ken, what's going on?
Hey, good afternoon, Gerard. I was listening in on the program. Man, look, a couple things come to mind. I always say this, we have to represent, educate, participate. We need to vote, but we also need to do that knowing what we're voting for and who and why. More importantly, what do we ask as a community standard? What do we ask our young people to do? Do we ask them to be productive citizens in society, learn how to do something, be respectful to others? That is part of the reason we have what we have in our own community. Now, to address the shooting in Minneapolis, I have several questions about that. Mm-hmm. One, it's funny that it happens in Minneapolis because the last police officer to get convicted in America of something other than Derek Chauvin was two Ethiopian police officers, and it was one in particular in Minneapolis, not far away from where that shooting occurred. It was a domestic call. Lady tapped on the back of the car. Who was the
and
call?
He shot her through the window.
Scared the guy, and he shot her through the window. That's about 6-7 years ago, right?
Yep.
So because of George Floyd, then the continuum of force of how you do things, verbal command to putting hands on people, that has been revisited in Minnesota. So it's interesting to me when I hear the president say, well, he has immunity, and J.D. Vance. No, he doesn't have immunity. I mean, in the course and scope of his job, as long as he's following protocol, that's great. Jumping in front of the car ain't protocol. And then when the woman was clearly fleeing, then you shoot her in the head on side of the car. Oh, you had gotten drugged? Well, that's a personal thing. So now you're invoking this whole officer safety thing. But if the officer puts himself at risk, in a dynamic and fluid situation like that, I don't know that he has any right to claim some sort of self-defense or officer safety exception or anything like that.
I don't think the protocol is for officers to put themselves in harm's way like that when they know that they're in front of a vehicle. I don't think that's protocol anymore.
No, I don't think so either. So my real question is, what happened prior? But what I do know is once she was on her way out, you could chase her if you want, maybe.
Right.
And I don't know that ICE has jurisdiction to do that, quite frankly, because they're supposed to be interdicting people who are illegal in the country illegally and or visa overstayers or whatever under Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Mm-hmm. They're not supposed to be pulling cars over.
They're doing a traffic stop.
They're doing traffic stops. That's outside of what their purview is, and they're to enforce anything. So when they say, well, the state won't do anything, I got some Newport news for you, partner. It happened in Minnesota. Keith Ellison is a very capable and able lawyer and prosecutor, and they're going to investigate this thing, and they're going to indict this fella. Now, I'm shocked. I would be shocked if he's still in the state of Minnesota because Minnesota, they're looking for him because they done whisked him out of there. But that's all right. They're going to have to turn that over sooner or later because those judges are going to start saying, okay, Mr. ICE field director in the area, oh, you don't want to turn him over? You come on, you going on and get in this jail for a little while. And when your memory gets a little bit better, we might have a second conversation. And there's nothing that Donald Trump can do about this because it happened in the state of Minnesota. There's no federal supremacy if you're going to do criminal acts. In fact, in Florida, they arrest FBI agents, local sheriffs. There was a local sheriff that arrested an FBI agent who came to investigate him shortly after the guy got to town and started asking questions. And the guy showed his badge, said why he was there, and they didn't turn him loose until the FBI field officer said, yeah, this is our guy. And, of course, it blew his cover because he was doing undercover car, that whole sort of thing, trying to interview people. So I think this is far from over. And in terms of what we should be doing, we should be very vigilant. We should stay out of the way. Video from as far as you can away. Don't be chased off, but give them no reason to come after you. And that's not being afraid, because myself, as a lawyer, my thought is this. I know that they are supposed to show you identification. I don't care if you're in a uniform, in a marked car. Until they show you that hard copy identification, they're not police. And given the fact that they just arrested this dude pretending to be ICE yesterday or day before, you have legitimate concerns and have a right to do that. But, be cool when you're doing it, because quite frankly, I'm going to tell them back up off me, first and foremost, until you show me your ID. Why am I? I don't give a damn who you are, excuse the language. Until you show me an ID, you just another guy, and you could be a fake.
Yeah, and they've had guys that have been pretending to be that are not.
They are out there like that. And tell them, hey, you're in Louisiana, partner. We got a right to defend ourselves. Right. Not that you want to say that, but keep that in your mind, because if it's you or them, what are you really supposed to be doing? And that's the question that everybody's not going to have cool, calm, and reflection. But on that note, thank you for having me on, and I'll let somebody else get 2-3 more minutes out here. And thank you for the program that you feel.
Appreciate you, boss. Thanks for the call.
All right, brother.
All right.
Peace out.
Well, I'm glad I heard from y'all today. Because I didn't know, I made wrong decisions. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I think sometimes when we have these conversations that I don't think y'all interested in, y'all blow the phones up. Boom, gee, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about it. I'll never forget. I was like, I'm not going to do a couple of these stories because my audience is not interested in that. And then y'all come, I'm like, wait a minute. And Wick be like, you was wrong. Like, yep, I was. But I'm glad that we've opened up to national and international news as well. And for those who don't know about it, that I know you're listening so you can find out. I don't know where we're headed as a nation. Something ain't right now. I wish I could put my finger on it and tell you exactly what it is, but something's not right. Just not right. And we headed down the wrong slope. We headed down the wrong slope. So, we'll see. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody for being a part of this conversation. We'll have some more on tomorrow. I can tell you now, the one, the only Suzette McNaris is going to be in the building on tomorrow. And she's going to be fired up because she got some things on her mind. So she'll be here tomorrow. Everybody tune in, 4 o'clock tomorrow. The McNaris Law Firm up in here. Y'all make sure y'all check it out. More tomorrow, y'all. Be safe, and we'll see you then.